If you brought Rome 2 or haven't played it in a while, you might be in the mood for a mod that adds Atlantis. Yes, you heard it right. New World is an alternate history mod that adds Atlantis as a playable faction in the game, and not just that, it adds the Vikings, the Trojans, the Amazonians, the Etruscans, the Lydians, and so many factions. You will be amazed. It's a mod that's going to satisfy your desires if you ever wondered what if a mythical faction had been added to Rome 2. But in the sense, it's not really mythical, it's more like, as if in reality, what if Atlantis existed, what if Troy had persisted, and what if these other factions had a historical grounding to them. The best example would be Harry Turtledove, who wrote alternate history books about Atlantis surviving to the 21st century or regarding its history, more or less. Here's what I'll say. This mod is totally worth your time, and it's on the Steam Workshop on Rome 2, and it's definitely number 2 now, I believe, number 2. But look, why am I making this video about New World? Because there is no other mod like this. There is no other mod that adds Atlantis, Vikings, it's even added in Egypt as well in the new patch. But there is no other mod like this out there. There's no mod that gives you Atlantis, there's no mod that gives you Lydia or the Amazonians or any of this, And each campaign feels unique, each faction feels unique, and none of them feel the same. That's the best part about this. It's not just that here's a bunch of factions and each of these units have different looks, but they don't look that unique. For example, if you play Troy has some of the most unique, beautiful looking units you'll ever see in the game. It feels like a completely new faction, and the little details are in the unit rosters themselves when you go and play in custom battle or you play in multiplayer battles. And New World is fantastic for multiplayer. I mean, it has a fantastic community when it comes to multiplayer, and I would definitely recommend subscribing to Joe on it, go into his Discord and join in the multiplayer matches that are hosted every Saturday night or so. And I think it's really fantastic. So, let's get on to this point. New World is an overhaul. Is it inspired by DEI and Radios? But yes, it is in a way. But is it like DEI? Does it have all the deep complex mechanics? Not so much. It's inspired, yes, but not every mod needs to be DEI to enjoy Rome 2. And look, if you play the Etruscans, you'll have a completely different experience. If you play the Vikings, you'll have a completely different experience. You could play the Vikings and you could go and conquer Britain. You could literally reenact that. Except this time you're playing with Romans, and this time the Romans aren't evacuating from Britain. Or maybe the Romans couldn't reach them. Maybe you could face the Iceni. There are so many what-ifs in this mod that you could literally create your entire own history. It's a bit like humankind in a sense, where you have some different history here and there. Basically, it's creating your own type of history, but in that sense. Okay, moving on. So New World also has the fact that, even if you play one faction, let's say you played the Trojans, or you played another faction, you will have to adapt that army to fight Hellenistic armies or barbarian armies or Eastern armies. For example, you could play as Rome and you could build an army of legions and you think that's it. But with Troy or with any other faction, you have to constantly adapt. And the Vikings, they don't have any cavalry. So that adds an extra layer of difficulty. One of those rare mods that gets made and is put on the Steam Workshop for Rome 2. Initially, this mod had been started as Total War Amazonia, but is now morphed into this alternate history mod. It is still alternate history. There's a quote from the Steam Workshop which a user named Pharaoh said, "You are basically taking ancient legends and turning them into something historically plausible." So that's what this mod is. Or you could play Caesar and Gaul, where this time the Gauls have been replaced by the Amazonians. Plenty of new factions have been added into this mod, and this mod is constantly updated. If you want to know more details about how this mod is progressing, make sure to join the Discord, which is linked in the description box down below. Lots of changes are in this mod, from generals acting as governors and naval combat getting improvements here, and there is a huge amount of lists. Alright, a huge amount of lists of updates and patches that you'll be amazed at. So don't expect this mod to be easy, however. When I first played this mod, when I first downloaded it, I played it as Atlantis. But you know, it was a really tough, challenging campaign, and it wasn't easy. And in my current playthrough as Troy, I played a campaign where, as the Trojans, I was facing off Pergamon, I was facing off Bithynia, I was facing off all these factions, and I had to deal with these wives that were sent by the Seleucids and Macedonians. And there was a whole bunch of conspiracies and political backstabbing. It still is an amazing campaign. So what are you waiting for? Why not go and download New World? If you always wanted to play as Atlantis, as Troy, as any of these factions, then this is the mod for you. And don't forget to leave a like, share, comment and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.